Today is one of those days. It's sort of a bittersweet day, if you would. If you'd say it's the eve of Valentine's, Saint Valentine's Day. But what really is Saint Valentine's Day? What is the significance of Saint Valentine's Day? What is the significance of the 14th of February? Just a bit of trivia for you. Significant significant events which occurred on the 14th of February. 1014, Pope Benedict the Eighth crowns Henry II, Roman German Emperor. 1076, Pope Gregory VII excommunicates Holy Roman Emperor Henry IV for the first time. 1797, the Battle of Cape St. Vincent. British fleet under Admiral Sir John Jervis defeats largest Spanish fleet under Admiral Don Jose de Cordoba y Ramos near Cape St. Vincent, Portugal. Captain Horatio Nelson distinguishes himself. 1876, A.G. Bell and Elisha Gray apply separately for telephone patents. Supreme Court eventually rules Bell rightful owner. 1929, St. Valentine's Day massacre in Chicago. 7 gangsters killed, allegedly at Al Capone's orders. 1971, Richard Nixon installs secret taping system in the White House. But what really is the significance of Saint Valentine's Day? What is the historical value of it? What is the history behind Saint Valentine's Day? Well, every February 14th, across the United States of America, Europe, even right here in the Caribbean, the candy, flowers, and gifts are exchanged between loved ones, all in the name of Saint Valentine. But who is this mysterious saint, and where did these traditions come from? Well, there is the legend of Saint Valentine, the history of Saint Valentine's Day, and the story of its patron saint is shrouded in mystery. However, we do know that February has long been celebrated as a month of romance, and that Saint Valentine's Day, as we know it today, contains vestiges of both Christian and ancient Roman tradition. But who exactly was Saint Valentine, and how did he become associated with this ancient rite? The Catholic Church recognizes at least 3 different saints named Valentine or Valentinus, all of whom were martyred. One legend contends that Valentine was a priest who served during the 3rd century in Rome, when Emperor Claudius II decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families. He then outlawed marriage for young men. Valentine, realizing the injustice of the decree, defied Claudius and continued to perform marriages for young lovers in secret. When Valentine's actions were discovered, Claudius ordered that he be put to death. Another story suggests that Valentine may have been killed for attempting to help Christians escape harsh Roman prisons where they were often beaten and tortured. According to one legend, an imprisoned Valentine actually sent the very first Valentine greeting himself after he fell in love with a young girl, possibly his jailer's daughter, who visited him during his confinement. Before his death, it is alleged that he wrote her a letter signed "From your Valentine," an expression that is still used today. Although the truth behind the Valentine legend is still murky, may always remain murky, the stories all emphasize his appeal as a sympathetic, romantic figure. By the Middle Ages, perhaps thanks to this reputation, Valentine would become one of the most popular saints in England and in France. Notice all the bloodshed that shrouds whichever legend of St. Valentine's Day that you want to look at, whether it's just random occurrences that happened on St. Valentine's Day, or whether it is the legend itself, all culminated in death, excommunication, or some negative connotation. What does Valentine's Day mean to you? Whatever it means to you, here's a bit of statistic for you. Approximately 150 million Valentine's Day cards are exchanged annually, making Valentine's Day the second most popular card sending holiday after Christmas. Huge, huge, huge holiday. But I can think of at least 2 families who will not be celebrating Valentine's Day this year. And I speak none other than relatively young man, 53-year-old, who met his demise on Sunday. You know, some say he was shot 15 times. Others say it was only 9 times. But whether he was shot once, 9 times, or 15 times, he was shot too many times. He didn't deserve to die. And it's heart-wrenching to hear his widow cry brokenly over not being able to say goodbye. And how he's left, 5 children behind? How he was a good provider. But what really touched me, and I think maybe I'm getting a little sappy, and maybe because it's the whole Valentine's fever thing going on, was when she said, I never got to say to him one more time how much I loved him. And to me, every time I hear of a murder, and last year we were chock full of them, this is what resonates with me. That the ones left behind will never again be able to tell the deceased how much they loved them, they appreciate them, they valued them, how much they cared for them. And it's sickening to think that you leave your home to conduct an honest day's work and you meet your demise like some vile creature, some vile, like some vermin to be eradicated from the earth, some rat. And not just any rat, because there are rats that are pets. Some gutter rat that just needed to be chopped down for all of the diseases that it carries. This is what happens every time someone, in their wrong minds, one would say, takes the life of another in such a vehemently violent way. And I say vehemently because one thing we do know, one thing the police have told us, is that he was shot multiple times. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, maybe he foiled your nefarious intentions. Maybe you came to rob the business establishment and he prevented you. He was in your way. You shot him once. You riddled his body with bullets. How angry does one have to be to shoot someone, a father, a husband, so many times for doing his job? How angry must you be? I mean, it's almost as if you have a sense of entitlement. This is my place. Why are you stopping me from taking what belongs to me rightfully? Away with you. Not a thought for whom this young man would be leaving behind. And I say young because he's relatively young. I mean, I can see 53 down the road. I can see 53 down the road. There's no big obstruction from me seeing 53, unless, of course, some vile excuse of a human being steps in my way. It's not that very far off. You're just going to do away with him? Last week, I spoke about a mind being a terrible thing to waste, and I gave you a little historical background to that effect. And immediately I left the show. Immediately. The show was over. I got a call from overseas lamenting that her own son fell prey to that disgusting habit. Remember I spoke about the embalming fluid and the smoking of marijuana, dipping it into the embalming fluid to get this charge, this high, searching for this ever elusive euphoria. Lost his mind. May never be the same again. Why can't we sit with ourselves and figure out what we want for our lives, for our future, and attempt to get there in as sane, legal, and ethical manner as possible? I mean, why can't we? You know, there's a saying that says the youth that youth is wasted on the young. It is. It really is, because this is the prime of your life. This is where you get to make your mark. And for some of us, that mark that we're supposed to be making is marred by everything ugly. And sometimes we really can empathize, because the backstory from birth, the horrors that some of these people had to face, it's unimaginable. But you know what? At some point, you've got to take stock. You've got to ask yourself, do I want to die like a dog in the streets? Do I want to be like a vermin in the gutter, losing my mind, having people spit all over me and just walk over me and kick me like so much trash? And really, I know some of you are thinking, well, she's preaching to the converted, or she's singing, preaching to the choir. But you know what? There are young people who will contemplate, or who may be contemplating going down that route. And these are the ones to whom I speak. The ones who have not yet gone down that route, who are perhaps contemplating, who perhaps are friends with people who are already on that track. And I want to make a special appeal to parents, especially at this time, this whole Valentine's period. I want you to ask yourselves, have you imparted enough knowledge, wisdom? Have you caused the wheels of the minds of your young ones to turn sufficiently that they can discern for themselves and to see danger when it poses or when it rears its ugly head? Have you spoken to them? Are you watching for the signs? Some time ago, I spoke to you about grooming. And I'm not talking about grooming, making sure your hair is all well done, that you're clean, that your nails are clean, your teeth are brushed. I'm not talking about that kind of grooming. I'm talking about the kind of grooming where older men and women prey on young ones, particularly the ones who come from the marginalized homes, the less fortunate among us. And they groom them, and they tell them the things that they want to hear, the things that they long to hear, because mommy and daddy are always at work and they don't get a chance to say it to them. Because maybe the home is broken, maybe it's a single parent household, And mommy and daddy always have contention. So they're looking for love somewhere else. So you ply them with gifts and chocolates and phones and nice dresses. And when these children bring these things home, you, as parents, do you care enough? Do you care enough to ask them, where did you get that? Who gave it to you? When did they give it to you? Why did they give it to you? Do you care enough for your children? Or are you too selfish to care? To ask them. And not just ask them to return if you weren't the one, or if it weren't an auntie, a dad, a nene, a grandma or grandpa who gave it to them. But to find out who gave it to them. Take it back to the person yourself. And caution said individual that you don't need them giving your children expensive gifts. And sometimes the gifts aren't all that expensive, just a little token, just a little token to see how far outside of the box that they can go. And you should never allow your children to stray too far, or to even stray a little bit out of that particular box. Not the creative box where they get to create things and they get to imagine things and to dream. Oh no, that box ought to be wide enough, and even then they should be pushing the envelope in that box. But the box where you teach them morals and values, value for self, self-love, self-esteem, that's the box. Because as we know, there are predators out there whose prime joy it is to lure the little babies with sweets and candies and flowers and shoes and jewelry and clothing. Sometimes just a ride on a Beamer, a Mercedes, just those little things that these children never thought could ever happen to them. You need to watch out. You need to watch out. Our recent past is strewn with horror stories, horrific stories of children who got caught up in the play, in the grooming cycle. Adults who were groomed as children, whose parents never even knew. Their parents died and they never knew that when they sent the child across the road to Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so, the horrors that these children had to suffer in silence. Because for one, you didn't make it easy for them to come to you. And for two, you placed so much emphasis, so much great value on Mr. So-and-so and Mrs. So-and-so that they were afraid you wouldn't believe them. That you would take the side of the perpetrator. Another family who will not be celebrating Valentine's this year is the father who lost his house to a fire and is homeless with his children. Now, those of you who know me very well would know that I don't think that everything you hurt your big toe, government is supposed to take care of it. I think when we make the decision to have children, and that's where the waters get a little bit murky for some of you, because you're like, okay, this is a woman who professes to love children and to care for children and does so much for children. But don't be too quick to understand me and just walk with me along that line. I think that when you make a decision to have children, you should be conscious of the decision that you're making, and to know, to understand, henceforth, your life ceases to exist as it was before. that there are certain sacrifices that you must be willing to make for the sake of your children. Because you know what? Children don't have a choice in the conception process. They don't have a choice. They don't stay in heaven somewhere or in a field somewhere or in some kind of warehouse and say, pick me, I want to be born. No. We, adults, make the conscious decision to engage in acts, whether it is for the purpose of procreation or whether it is for the purpose of entertainment and enjoyment. But when we consciously make the decision to engage in sexual activities that could result in a pregnancy, we have to be mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared. And I dare say financially. That is a huge chunk of raising kids. You can't raise kids if you have no money. Some people will say, of course you can. No. How are you going to send them to school? How are you going to feed them? How are you going to clothe them? How are you going to take them to the doctor when they're ill? What, you're going to be depending on the largesse of your neighbors, of everybody else who made the effort? And some of us did not make the effort because we have no kids. We consciously said, okay, we don't want to have any kids, or it didn't happen for us. So you're going to depend on our largesse to help you provide for your children. Does that make sense to you? That I should work so as to provide your children with what you should be providing for them in the first place. I'm not saying that people don't fall on hard times. I'm not even suggesting by an inch or even a long mile that poor people ought not to have children. I think some of the most well-adjusted children, adults, people contributing members of society came from poor households. But poor does not mean that you cannot provide for your children. There are some people who just cannot provide for their children, and they have not been able to provide for their children from birth. I'm not saying that is the case with the man that I'm talking about that was in the news today, because obviously he provided a home for his children. It burnt down. But what did he put aside for the future? And some of us just can't. We're living from hand to mouth, you know? And I think it's a travesty that in St. Lucia in 2018, we cannot have social services whereby an entity can swoop in and say, okay, because of the nature of what we do, we can't have adults mingling among other people's children, but we can take the children. So you can have your children during the day. You could come to the home or wherever, take them to school, ensure that they get their homework done, but by a certain time, they have to be in and you have to find another place to stay until such time you're back on your feet and you can take your children out of the system. It's a travesty that in 2018 we don't have a system where we can place our children while their parents try to get their act together because something happened through no fault of their own. And that is why I will always say, know where you're living, know your circumstance. This is St. Lucia. We choose to live. Well, some of us don't choose to live here. We were born here and we have no other means. We have no alternate means of getting out. We have no other home that we can migrate to. This is where we were born and this is where we surely have a home. And so since time immemorial, we have poor health care. It doesn't seem to be getting any better. Because we have 1, 2, 3 hospitals, 4 hospitals that are, we should be ashamed to call hospitals. So we know that. Why don't we make a conscious effort starting from today? Because we know tomorrow is going to be the love day. It's going to be the day of all days, and everybody's going to try to outdo themselves in the love-making department to protect ourselves. to ensure that we don't bring in children, any additional children into this world that we are ill prepared and unprepared to care for, to provide for. Because yes, they need the love. Yes, they need the shelter. Yes, they need all of those things that money cannot buy. But you still need money to care for them. Because children are notorious for falling ill. Notorious. One child has a flu, a slew of children catch the flu. Because children like to engage, they like to mingle, they like to touch, they like to share. And they share everything, including their germs. So my heart goes out to those two families. And you know, oftentimes we say it's all about the ladies. Men can't step up to the plate. They're not stepping up to the plate. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're shirking their responsibilities as fathers and husbands. Here we have two fathers. One not being able to provide for his children after a calamity, and the other falling prey to calamity. And in the process, leaving his family without the provider, without the protector, without the lover. And in this case, you have a woman who is going to have to learn pretty quickly the meaning of independence. Ironic, isn't it, that next week we will be celebrating our 39th independence anniversary. And there is this mother of 5 who is going to learn to have to be independent because her provider, her protector, her lover is gone. And so she's going to have to be all of those things for their children. It really is sad. You know, I listen to people speak, and sometimes I wonder, where is the empathy? Do they care beyond the tip of their nose what's going on with other people? It really is sad. But I don't want to dwell anymore on the sadness, and I know that I constantly ask, do we remember, do we have memory spans longer than 2-3 days? But you know, in all fairness, I know a lot of you have been looking forward to Valentine's Day, and unfortunately for some of us, we're in a conundrum. I'm speaking about us Catholics, yeah? Because tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, but it also marks the beginning of the most significant period in our Christian life, as Catholics that is. It also marks the beginning of the Lenten season. So tomorrow is Valentine's Day for some, but for the vast majority of us St. Lucians, it also is Ash Wednesday. And that kind of puts you in a, you know, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because what do? Do you go out and live it up and yuck it up and eat as much as you want and wine and dine your loved ones and perhaps get a little busy later on? Or do you go for ashes in the morning and begin the solemn period? Well, it's not yet Ash Wednesday. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack from my church people, but that's okay. I've taken worse. This evening, I have a special prize, gift, something for a lucky person this evening, and that's going to lead into tomorrow, and that is compliments of Sandals Regency. They have graciously, and this is something that I wanted to do when we came back for the beginning of the season, and I wasn't able to coordinate it as I wanted to. So I'm very grateful that Sandals Regency came in and contributed and made this possible for me. So for Valentine's Day, they're having a night, a Regent night, I suppose. So it's at Regency Sandals La Talk. They're having this grand dinner. It's $500 per couple. And they're gonna it's gonna be an experience of true gourmet dining, unlimited premium drinks, and chocolate buffet. Now, for me, that's where they got me because I'm a chocoholic big time. And there's going to be dancing to the sweet music of Barbara Cadet, Siobhan Seeley, Irvin Lochter, which is he's really good. He's a great vocalist, and Envoy's band with Silver Shadow Dancers. So that's all at the Sandals La Talk Regency for $500 per couple. It promises to be fantastic. So when I reached out to Sandals and I said I wanted something that I can give back to my viewers for Valentine's, they sent me this package and they graciously donated a dinner for two tomorrow for one lucky viewer this evening. So you need to stay tuned. You need to be on, because I'm going to ask you some questions, and every question I ask will be worth $100. And if you get $500 worth of questions correct, then you could be off to Sandals Regency tomorrow with a loved one to celebrate Valentine's Day. We're due for a break, but when we come back, I'll tell you a little bit more about my giveaway, and we have so much more to discuss. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and thank you for staying tuned to what's happening now with Laura. I had a little snuffle during the break, but hopefully we'll recover very nicely. So as I was saying before we went on break, I have a very special surprise. Well, it's not a surprise because I've told you it's out of the bag now. So I have a giveaway. That's the word. I have a giveaway for you, all in honor of St. Valentine's Day. I know a vast majority of us will not be able or will feel guilty. I think that's the word. I don't think St. Lucians are that staunch of Catholics or observing the Lenten season to say, okay, I won't go out to dinner. They may curb what the activities would be. But I want us to reflect. We have a call. Let's take it. Let's find out what's happening. Maybe they won the prize, but it's not time to get the prize. You got to listen. Hi, good evening. You're on the air?
What do you mean it's not time to get the prize?
Sorry? Oh, you were calling for the prize. You got to listen a little longer because we've got to ask questions. So people are already calling for the prize. It's fantastic. Let me just tell you. Let me tell you a little bit about what you're getting. It's worth $500. And even if you don't get the prize, you could still participate. You could still go on down to the Sandals Regency and get a package for the two of you, your loved one, you and your partner. And these days Sandals is open to all kinds, it's not just a heterosexual resort anymore. It's open to all walks of life, for want of a better phrasing. And you're going to experience true gourmet dining, unlimited premium drinks, and I think a lot of St. Lucians are going to enjoy that. But please temper your drinking. If you're drinking, don't be driving. So have a designated driver or take a taxi. Yeah. And the chocolate buffet I heard is fantastic. You're going to be dancing to the sweet music of Barbara Cadet, Siobhan Seeley, Irvin Lochter, and Envoy's band with Silver Shadow Dancers. You will also be getting a complimentary 8x7 photo and receive a free complimentary rose at your table. It's going to be positively decadent and luxurious. So look forward to that. This is what I'm going to be giving away to a lucky viewer today. And they're going to be, like I said, this package costs $500, right? So I am going to be asking you questions worth $100 each. So you answer $500 worth of questions and you can get to win this prize. But you've got to listen up because I'm going to ask the questions and I'm going to give you a window within which you're going to call in and you're going to answer the questions. Yep. Wonderful. So we talked about Valentine's Day. But what about independence? Like I said last week, I drive through the city and I'm so not feeling the independence fever at all. I'm not feeling the independence fever. More and more flags are coming up, but I still don't feel it. I don't see people being patriotic. I don't see people, I don't see the storefronts being decorated in our national colors. And I'm asking the question, is it that Valentine's Day takes precedence over Independence Day? Is it that because of the commercial value of Valentine's Day, we want to chuck independence back in a little corner and to only give it 2 or 3 days of prominence in our whole calendar of events for the year? I mean, this is the month of independence. This is the month where we ought to be the most patriotic, at least outwardly. What do you think? I personally think that the two can be combined. I don't see any reason why a storefront couldn't celebrate independence and Valentine's at the same time. I mean, yellow roses signify great friendship, as well as the white roses. So each color of rose denotes something else. So why can't we have yellow hearts, and white hearts and blue hearts? Because after all, some of us have broken hearts. Some of us are toting around severely cracked hearts, and some of us have lost loved ones on Valentine's Day or on the 14th. Oh my gosh, by the way, happy birthday, Alana. Alana is my little cousin. Happy birthday, Alana, in advance, because tomorrow is her birthday. She's a Valentine's Day baby. So wow, it just dawned on me that she's going to be, 21 or 22 next? Oh my God, she's going to be 22, I think. Wow. How time flies. Happy birthday, baby Alana. Not so much of a baby anymore, but still going to be a baby in our eyes. But yeah, back to independence. How are you going to be celebrating independence? I know how I'm going to be celebrating independence, but how are you going to be celebrating independence? Are you feeling the independence fever? And should there be more of a hullabaloo about independence? Should there be more furor surrounding this period? Should we be placing more emphasis on independence rather than on Valentine's? So the first question worth $100, and don't call before you get, but if you call, be prepared to answer all questions, right? So I'm just going to give you a teaser. How many Sandals properties are there within the region? How many Sandals properties are there within the region? What time is it now? It's 9:15. Maybe we can open the lines a little bit and so persons can call. So the young lady who called earlier, she can start calling now. All right. So we're going to open the lines now because my guest is a little bit late. And a lot late. So we're going to do this now. So let's open the lines and you can call in for an opportunity to win this luxurious dinner for 2 at the Sandals Regency. Hello, you're on the air. We lost the caller. Okay. So keep calling, and you can even send us your WhatsApp messages on your thoughts, but you need to call in to be a part of this this raffle. Good evening, you're on the air. Hello?
I'm doing fine.
Great.
Because the weather.
Oh? The weather? Are we ready to answer some questions? Hello?
Yeah. Hello?
You ready to answer some questions?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You sound pretty young. Are you 18 years and over? Hello? Can we get an adult on the phone, because this is really a prize for adults and we don't want to encourage children for this particular giveaway. Okay, so I don't think this caller is quite ready. So please try back when you've gotten your act together, and we'll take our next caller. We have another call on the line. All right, so keep trying. I'm not going to give you too many questions in advance because I don't want to give one set of people an advantage over the others, right? But just keep trying, and remember, this is a romantic dinner getaway. There's going to be drinking and there's going to be adult activity. So we really want to encourage adults 18 years and over to call, not children. I mean, it's cute and everything, but there is a time and a place for that. When I have prizes that's appropriate for children, you can have the children call. But for now, let us have the adults 18 years and over call. And just a reminder of what you're getting for this giveaway. It's a dinner for two package. And it's going to be true gourmet dining, unlimited premium drinks, and a chocolate buffet. We have a call online. Thank you for calling. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. 3?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
Uh,
It's not 3. So the question, you must listen very carefully. How many sandals properties are there within the region?
all right. I'll call back.
You'll call back. Okay. All right. So the answer is not 3, but you can keep calling. We'll go for a little. We have a call? Okay, great. Thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Yes,
Yes. How many sandals properties are there within the region?
there are 4 actually.
No, that's incorrect.
It's not 4.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not. So you need to listen to the question very carefully. I'm not going to make it very easy for you because this is a $500 package, people. $500 package. So we want you to really listen. Good evening. You're on the air.
5.
No. No. I'm going to give you guys a hint. It's way more than 5. Okay, it's way more than 5. And listen to the question very carefully. How many sandals properties are there within the region? We have a caller online. Thank you for calling. Hello.
Hello?
Hi. How many sandals properties are there within the region?
There's 6.
No, it's not 6. Can you call? Not so much. Not so much. But we'll take a break, and when we come back, we will have a chat with my special guest, and we'll continue the promo a little later on as we go on. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and thank you for staying tuned to what's happening now with Laura. And as I indicated earlier, I was supposed to have a guest with me. I called pretty late and said, "Oh, can I come in? Can I just pop in?" I was like, "Sure, the door is always open." So I kind of had to do a little scrambling to allow for that. But then she had a little snafu and was a little late. But then she's here now, and we're rolling with this. My guest this evening is none other than the lovely Miss K. I call her KK Vinay, and she is from my community of Labrie, the cultural iconic village of Labrie. Welcome, Kezia.
Thank you, Laura.
Kezia is participating. As you could see, she's all decked out in her regalia and in her national colors. And I was just lamenting about how I'm not feeling the independence feeling. I'm not feeling the independence fever. I'm not moved. If I didn't know, I would not feel it. I wouldn't, know that independence is right around the corner. But then this breath of fresh air came in, and I'm feeling it a little bit with a little feathers in her hair. I feel almost incongruous with it being in red when she's sporting our national colors. Love it, love it, love it. Welcome, Kay. Tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and what you do.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Keisha Vinay. I'm hailing from the beautiful community of the People's Republic of Labrie. Whoop whoop. Okay, I'm currently a teacher by profession. I know my students will tell me, "Hi, Miss, I saw you on television." So, hi everybody. Yes, I love my students. I do a lot with them. I do cheerleading with them to help them to keep them out of trouble during the lunchtime and so forth. They're really looking forward to it. I believe I'm a philanthropist at heart. I love to see the welfare of people develop, so that is my passion. I'm currently part of a Rotaract Club of South St. Lucia. That's a volunteer club where the club gives of its time, talents, and treasures to the bettering of society. And that is part of what I want to do. And like Winston Churchill said, you make a living by what you get and you make a life by what you give. So that is what I want to do. Yes.
Wow. I mean, I say, you say Keisha, right?
Yes.
But I always call you Casey, and you've never corrected me. Always call her Casey, and she says, oh, yes, answers. But Keisha, her name is Keisha.
Yes.
That wonderful. I mean, I used to be a member of Rotaract back in the day as well, and it helped me develop as a person. It helped me in terms of my community spirit and to give back and to see in others things that they don't get to see. And I encourage all young persons to be a part of those organizations, whether it's Rotaract, whether it's the Lions Club or Leo's Club. You are needed to be a part of one of these organizations. It gives to you as much as it asks of you, you know? So wonderful. And I love the fact that you said you're a philanthropist at heart. What are some of the philanthropy activities that you have done or are intending to participate in?
Okay. Well, apart from Rotaract, I do intend on launching a foundation called Rise Up Girls within my community. It's in commemoration to Sadia Byron, who got raped and killed, and that was heart-wrenching to me. So I said to myself, what can I do? So within this, we will have a martial arts group where we train young ladies to learn a skill. So if in case they arrive at a situation where they need to use that skill, they'll be equipped for doing that.
I quite
So,
like
yes.
I quite like that because you said it's in honor of Sadia, and Sadia had two daughters, 15 and 12, and nothing is more fitting because I can imagine right now they must be feeling so set adrift. You know, the one minute you have your mom, and the next minute she's not there, and then you know it's like, what happens to me? Is there
Right.
anybody who will care for me as much as my mom? My mom is my protector. She
Right.
wasn't able to protect herself. Will I be able to do the same? Be able to protect myself if something were to happen? So I commend you for that. That's awesome.
And I also want to do this. I want to launch it with a pageant within my community, and as most people may know, I am participating in the Miss Independence pageant come this Friday. So I'm inviting you, the public, especially the Laborians, to come and support me, your contestant, Keisha Vinay, at the National Cultural Center. Yes.
Wonderful. Now, tell me a little bit about I know you're passionate about pageants. I mean, there could be a pageant in, for want of a better term, to my boy, Bouton. I mean, although Bouton, we can't give Bouton jokes anymore, you know, right? I mean, back in the day, perhaps, you know,
Yes.
but not anymore. I mean,
Yes.
that community has really risen up
That's right.
and really risen to the challenge and overcome tons of jokes, meant in a good way, by the way. I don't think anybody derides the community of Bouton. But I think you're one of those persons who's so passionate about pageantry. Tell us why.
Yes, I believe pageantry creates a great platform for women to be seen and heard. So if I have an issue, I believe it's plaguing society, I could use pageantry for that great opportunity for people to hear about it and for that message, right, to go out there, right.
Right. I tend to agree with you. A lot of people think of pageantry as just putting your body on display. But there's so much more to it than that. There's so much to the training
Right.
that you get to help you become well-rounded young women. The etiquette training, I understand, is grueling. You go through strenuous training, preparing you for pageantry.
It's so true because you find it cultivates wholehearted living. You grow professionally, spiritually, physically, because you have to gym, emotionally, psychologically, sorry. So it's an entire formation of that individual where you develop into a stronger person than you were before.
And the discipline it takes, because
Right.
I mean, you're a full-time teacher. You work full-time. You're a
Yes.
teacher by profession
Yes.
during the day, and you teach where?
at the Bunce-Lagras Combined School.
Bunce-Lagras. This is
Yes.
all the way in the south, all the way inside of Labrie.
That's right.
And you're here
That's
in
right.
Castries. So after work, it's not over for you. So you have to be a certain disciplined type of a person
That's
to
right.
do that, what you're doing during the day. Be focused on that.
Yes.
And then afterwards, take a breather, take a step back, and redirect your energies into this. And there's so much to that. So I commend you. I commend all pageant participants for that, because it really. I took part in a pageant once, and I said, vowed to myself, never again. I'm more the background type of person,
I mean,
because
it's
it
a
really
lot.
is.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's really a lot, because you have to discipline yourself. You have to set a timetable and try to stick to that timetable, because if you don't, like, you really fall behind on a lot of things, and you don't want to do that. So it disciplines you in that regard. So I'm really grateful for it, though, because all of this experience with my club, it helped me to create a backbone for myself and, you know, propel me towards the direction that I want to go to, and actually inspire others, be a role model for others.
Absolutely. I love this. Now, we're going to just take a little breather, and we're going to try to get some more calls. Now, I promise you guys had to answer $500 worth of questions, because I have this special giveaway, compliments of Sandals Regency, who came through in a big way at the last minute when I called them and said, listen, I have been delaying this thing. I really need something. I need a dinner to give to my my loyal viewers, and you guys are not putting your thinking caps on. The answer is, it's very simple. It's very simple. Just listen to the question, pay attention to the words within the question, and answer appropriately. The first question, as I asked, was how many Sandals properties are there within the region? The region. So please, we're taking some more calls. We have some time, yeah? So we're taking some more calls interspersed between my interview with Keisha. Keisha?
Yes, Keisha.
Keisha. I'm so used to saying Keisha. Keisha, you can call and answer the questions. Remember, $500 worth of questions for a true gourmet dining experience with a chocolate buffet. Premium drinks, people. Dance all night long to the sweet musical sounds and renditions of Barbara Cadet, Siobhan Seeley, Irvin Lochter. Come on, it's only $500. And for those of you who may not be successful in winning this package, it's only $500. It's Sandals Regency. How can you go wrong? So let's resume the calls, and let's take it from there. And if you answer this first question right, you never know. So we have our call online. Thank you for calling. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, the answer is 15.
15. Okay. How many brands are there in the Sandals line? So Sandals is an umbrella body, and it has a few brands. How many brands are there?
3 brands.
No, that's incorrect. So try again. You got the first question correct, but you did not get the second question correct. So you have $100 in the bag. So try again.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so again, Sandals. How many Sandals properties are there in the region? The second question: how many brands are there in the Sandals under the Sandals umbrella? We have another call. Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Okay. All right. Now, this is the eve of Valentine's. How do you intend on spending your Valentine's? This is what we're talking about. Love is in the air.
Okay, well, today at school I did a walk for love, so I walked for love. Whoop whoop. So I'm feeling physically refreshed, so that's good.
That's wonderful. We have
Yes.
another call online. Thank you for calling. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. How many Sandals properties are there in the region?
15.
15. How many brands are there under the Sandals umbrella?
5.
5. No, I'm choosing this person seems to know what. I can't make it too easy for her after all. Name 2 of the artists that are going to be serenading you guys when you go to Sandals tomorrow for your fantastic gourmet experience?
Irvin Lochter
Mhm.
and Barbara Cadet.
And Barbara Cadet. Okay. Ah, she's
We
taking
have to
my
go
time.
again.
I like to make it spicy. She has me. She has me. She has me. Wow.
No more, please.
$500. I said every question is worth $100. Right. Okay, there we go. Name 3 islands where you could find a Sandals property.
Jamaica, St. Lucia, and Barbados.
All right. So how many questions we've asked so far?
5.
No, we haven't asked 7 questions. We asked how many Sandals properties are there? How many brands are there? We asked the islands. You answered that. I should have asked you. I should have allowed you to answer. Give me all, you know. So 3 questions. You answered 4. Name 2 of the guest artists performing at the Regency. What is the Sandals slogan?
I didn't hear that.
What is Sandals' slogan?
Oh.
Come on, you can do this. Now, all of a sudden, I'm rooting for you. Okay, so you need to call back. I promise nobody else will know, right?
What?
You need to call. I feel like such a fiend. I feel like a villain. But you have to answer at least 5 questions for me to give, because I promise it's $100 per question. Yeah. So you have $400 in the bag. Junior, should we give it to her? Should we ask her an easier question? Should we?
Yes.
I sort of like my role as a villain. Okay. I'm going to make it easy for you, okay? How many Sandals properties are on island, and where is Sandals' next project going to be located?
Oh, shucks. That's hard.
That's
Okay,
easy.
there's Sandals Grand
Uh-huh.
at Pigeon Point,
Uh-huh.
Sandals Halcyon,
Uh-huh.
Sandals Le Talk,
Uh-huh. Sandals Regency, but that's okay. Uh-huh.
and where's the next property going to be?
Uh-huh.
Boy.
You got this. This has been all over the news. I'm not even feeling sorry for you anymore.
It's been all over the news.
Mm-hmm.
Pigeon Point again?
Yay! Drum roll, she got it right.
Nice.
There's going to be a 4th property on island, and it's going to be on Pigeon Point, and it's going to be what, a 5-star resort. So there you have it. You have won yourself I almost wish, that I was going myself. It's
I'm
going to
excited
be.
about the chocolate buffet.
Oh my gosh, are you ever? Because this is what I would have wanted to go for, but I'm giving up chocolate for Lent. I can't tempt myself so much. But you are going to be experiencing a fantastic gourmet experience at the Sandals Regency Le Talk. It's going to be all about romance, unlimited premium liquor, chocolate buffet, gourmet dining, dance to the sweet musical renditions of Barbara Cadet, Siobhan Seeley, Irvin Lochter, and hey, that should be enough, right?
Sounds exciting.
Sounds fantastic. Just stay on the line. We'll get your name and a
Okay.
number, and then somebody will call you and tell you how you're going to access your pass. So congratulations one more
Thank you.
time. You were a trooper. You worked hard for that.
Thank you,
I'm glad
thank
you got it.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so you were telling me, Keisha.
Keisha.
And you would have thought for all these years I would know how to say Keisha.
I get it a lot, so that's okay.
How you were telling us, how are you going to be celebrating?
Well, tomorrow is Ash Wednesday as well, so I'll be going to Mass. So we'll be having Mass at school, so I guess, if anybody wants to be invited, or they can invite me to mass, I'll be heading down there with you.
Great, wonderful.
Yes.
I think myself, I want to go for ashes. I want to
Yes.
take in that whole spiritual journey. It's something that I always look forward to every
Yes.
year.
too.
It helps me as a person because I have to be disciplined because I have a lot
Right.
of bad habits that I give up for Lent, you know, and then I want to see how well I can manage that.
That's
and
right.
certainly I would not be going to Sandals because I could not resist the chocolate buffet. So I'm happy that the young lady got that and not
Yes,
me.
Congratulations to her.
So tell me, what does independence mean to you?
Okay, I believe I represent the epitome of independence because I think it is trying to assist yourself to grow to a certain level where you don't have to depend. I don't want to use the word depend, but where you don't have to depend entirely on, you know, somebody else. You grow out from your mother's home. You go to work. You don't just be. I'm not hearing myself.
That's okay.
You don't just depend on other persons for everything. You try to emanate that type of leadership responsibility and so forth. So that's what I think independence represents for me.
What do you think about our preparation for independence this year?
Well, I've been hearing a few of the activities that has been going on. A lot of it is up north and well in Castries, and I think we need to decentralize things as has been said in the past and have some more activities down south because you find that people down south, they are being sort of ostracized, and I don't know how they feel like they can be a part of things when things are already so much in the city central area.
Great.
Yes.
And of course, you participating in one of those events for independence. You're
Yes.
participating in the independence
Pageant.
pageant. How has that been? How has that journey been? And how does it differ from other pageants that you've participated in?
Okay, well, every pageant is different in itself. This one, well, it has its hurdles with all goals, with all endeavors. It has its hurdles and challenges. However, you have to push through and you have to overcome them. So it is fun too because I get to meet the girls and they're really fun, they're really exciting. There is competition, but healthy competition. We help each other and so forth. Just like the other pageants, you find the girls were really nice. My Carnival Queen girls and the Music Mele Creole pageant that I did, I have never had an issue with the girls per se. So I'm really happy about that. And that's one of the things I admire about, well, the girls and pageantry because I get to network, I get to make new friends and so forth. So
I'm happy you mentioned the word networking because, you know, with my marketing background, one of the things I always say, especially to young people, is that your ability to network is what's going to help you determine how far in life you go, you get ahead. Now, it's ironic that we're talking about independence, and one of the things that you said is not being dependent on people entirely. But no man is an island. We've all heard that saying,
man is an
and you always could do with a helping hand, somebody to help
That's
you
right.
propel yourself forward. I mean, that's not like the same as depending on the person, but
Right.
accepting and receiving assistance.
that's right.
So networking is absolutely important. So I'm happy for that. How has the organization been of the organizers? Are they prepared? What can we expect to see from Keisha and the other girls come Friday at the Independence pageant?
Well, it's going to be a great show, I could tell you that for sure. We have 9 contestants from various constituencies across the island. The ministry have come on board. The founder is Mr. Gregory Lord. He has had the show for approximately 12 years, I believe.
Nice.
So the ministry have decided to come on board so that they could make it an even more phenomenal event. So just come Friday, the 16th of February, and you will have the shock of your life. Yes.
Wow. So, I mean, I almost want to say, like, you know, Friday, hurry up and come.
Yes.
What are we expected to see from you? And I want you to address this answer to our fellow Laborians because we want them to come out. I mean, I think Laborians don't go out often enough outside of their comfort zone to support their own, especially the young. So, what would you say to a fellow Laborian who's thinking, pageants, what can you, how can you encourage them to come out?
Okay. Like the famous quote by Miss Japanelle. She always say Laborians, well, Labry girls must shine, but I will use it and I will say Laborians must shine. So come out on Friday the 16th of February to see Miss Keisha Vinay shine. She will definitely shine for you. So yes, you are invited, and I promise you, you have nothing to be afraid of and nothing less than what you'll expect from me.
Great.
Yes.
Now, I understand that transportation, that your team has provided transportation.
Yes, transportation is free, so be at
Wow.
the Library Market Square
What time? What time is the bus leaving?
at 5 p.m. sharp,
And what time is the show?
7 p.m.
Okay, so they're giving you ample time. Go to work, come back from work, get ready. So prepare yourself from Thursday night. Yeah, put out the nice dandan and everything. And I think you have T-shirts as well on sale to support you.
That's right.
Yeah, the T-shirts are like how much? $20?
$20.
Okay, just $20. The tickets are $30. So put aside $50. You don't have to worry about transportation. Put aside $50, $30 for your ticket, $20 for your t-shirt, and come on and support Keisha Vinay. She is a phenomenal young lady. She has been, I've had a chance to interact with her on several occasions. And let me tell you, she's sticking up there. And I think given the right opportunity, given the right impetus, she can really go very far and make us from Labry proud. So let's go out there and support her. She's doing all of these things. And sometimes I ask her, I say to her, but why don't you publicize what you're doing? Because she's doing it so, reservedly. She's doing everything without, big fanfare. But you know what? We talked about the networking, and we talked about people propelling you so that
That's
you could
right.
reach your full potential.
Potential.
Yes?
That's right.
So come out and support Keisha. Transportation is being provided for you for free. Come out and support her. She's representing us, the cultural community, the cultural village of St. Lucia, Labary. We are such a proud people. Come out and support Keisha and what she's doing. We have a call online. Thank you for calling. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
You're still doing the promotion
My
about
darling,
Santa's
you
thing?
went to the loo. It's over. Somebody
Okay.
won already.
Thank you.
I thought you were calling to commend our lovely guest on participating in the Independence pageant. Will you be going?
Oh.
No. Maybe you should think about that since you missed out the opportunity for Valentine's. Yeah. But thank you so much for calling.
You're most welcome.
Right. This I think she must have gone
Yes, I
away for
think
a
so
little
too.
while, but she missed the opportunity. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I only had the one package. But yeah, so we were saying that the pageant is on.
The 16th of February, that's this Friday coming. So
And
get
where
your
will it be?
tickets. It will be at the National Cultural Center. Yes.
Now, I'm only going to be going to this pageant because you're in the pageant, because I had taken a vow never to attend anything else at the Cultural Center. I'm never comfortable there. We have a call online. Thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Hi, good evening. How
Hi.
are you?
Good evening. I'm fine. Thanks. How are you?
Okay, I'm all right, thanks. No, I just wanted to just bring something to your attention. I was listening and I was about to call for the to answer the question,
Uh-huh.
but I realized there was probably the phrasing of the question was not accurate
What is this?
because you asked about how many properties,
Uh-huh.
and there are 24 properties, but there are 15 resorts.
No. You see, I was looking at sandals, under the sandals, because there are beaches. There is Grand Pineapple. There is Falke Resort.
There are
There are.
beaches and there are resorts. I know. I was just,
Yes.
When I checked, I realized they said 24 properties in 7 countries.
Yes, there are under the umbrella, the total umbrella. But I was looking for branded sandals because sandals is a brand under, right? So that's what I was looking for.
Well,
So,
I
but
know-
thank
I
you
know
for
that there are 5
the
brands,
ambiguity.
but it's
Yeah.
just that to me, because online is saying 24 properties, and they're saying
But
15
the
resorts.
24 is including the beaches and the Grand Pineapple and all of the sandals, beaches, Grand Pineapple, Falke, and the Jamaica Villas. So yeah, so you're quite right, but I was looking specifically for sandals.
Okay.
Yeah, because we don't have beaches here, right? So I
Yeah,
was
I know.
trying to incorporate our local situation with the whole, and I didn't want to make it too easy. So, but
No,
thank you
it's
very much for,
original, so it's
yeah.
original. Okay.
Okay, thank you
All
so
right,
much.
thanks.
Are you going to be attending the?
Beg your pardon?
Are you going to be attending the Independence pageant?
No.
Wow.
That's Ash Wednesday. When is the pageant?
The pageant is on Friday, so
Friday.
you would
That's
have called
Lent.
to have won.
That's Lent.
You would have, but no, but listen to this. You would have called to
Uh-huh.
win the prize to go out on Ash Wednesday, but you won't go out to support our young people on Friday.
No. I mean, I looked up the thing, but then just to see, I just looked it up.
Oh,
and
so
I
you
saw
were
the
not interested in
information, but then,
winning?
I mean, I was not really going to go
Oh,
anywhere.
okay. All right.
I was
Okay.
just checking it out.
Okay.
Just
All
for,
right.
information.
Okay. All right. Okay then. Good answer.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yes, so the lines are open for those of you who want to call and stand in solidarity with Keisha and to encourage her in what she's doing. I mean, she's a well-rounded young lady. She is a teacher by profession. She is a philanthropist. She gives back to her community. She wants to even give further by developing her own foundation to help young girls at risk or just young women, period, and to encourage them. And you said something about pageantry, how it helps you to develop your
Definitely.
self-esteem and your confidence, right?
Definitely.
Right.
Yes.
So come out and support Keisha. We're running out of time, but we still have about 5-10 minutes. We have a call online.
Good evening to you.
Hi,
and
good
your
evening.
guests.
Good
Just want
evening.
to congratulate Keisha.
Thank you.
And since you are a teacher, I'd really like you to use your skill and your talent a little further to empower young girls and also our boys, not forgetting our boys.
That's right.
But there's a subject that touches me very much in terms of our young girls wanting to return to school, and some of them have been denied the opportunity. So I know you cannot touch it at this forum, but it's something I really want teachers, principals, and the authorities to look at. This is my contribution tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's quite fitting that this person who should call, because lately I've been getting and I've just been compiling. Lately I've been getting quite a bit of calls of injustices that have been occurring at our schools, particularly the ones in the South, and it really hurts me to know that these. I'll use the word injustice again. Yes, these because the word I was going to use maybe it'll come across a little bit too strongly. Yeah, that these injustices are happening in the South in particular because we know that a lot of bright young minds emanate from the South, and to deny children who want to get back to school, who had to drop out of school for whatever reason. Whether it is because they couldn't afford, whether it is through teenage pregnancy, whatever the case is, that they're willing to go back and that some principals would deny them that opportunity to go back. And let's not forget that every child has a right to an education under our Constitution. And so you can't be, this is my school, it's not your school. Unless public schools have been rendered private. And you have purchased shares at that school and you are the majority shareholder, principals, teachers, the schools belong to the kids. It belongs to all of us. The parents, the children, the citizenry who pay their taxes to ensure that you have a job, that you are entrusted with the young minds, developing the minds of our young citizens. And I think it's very appalling, and this is the reason I didn't want to really touch on that, because we touched on some heavy subjects earlier, and I didn't want to continue down that line. I want to pay specific attention to education, and I don't want there to be any misunderstandings about what's going on. I mean, for too long, certain atrocities have been allowed to go on unchecked in our education system. We talk a lot about the justice system, but education ranks just as high in there as the broken systems in St. Lucia. Any final thoughts for you as we close off?
Okay, so I would just like to invite you, St. Lucia, to come and support the 9 lovely young ladies from the various communities who are vying for the title of Miss Independence, especially Miss Lavery.
How confident are you that you would come home with the crown?
Well, I am definitely confident. So come Friday and let's see us all put up our best foot forward, and hopefully I gain that crown.
Oh, I like that. She's so confident. I regain, it's like she has the crown already and she's already thinking further afield. I really like that. I think we're running out of time, but I just wanted to say to Keisha, I think you're a wonderful person. I think that you have so much in you that you to just burst forth. And I think St. Lucia will get a little taste of just the tip of the iceberg of what you really made of, you know, and you know, everything about you. I just like it like that. Right, Alice? We like it like that. We like it like that. And I want to say a few shout outs, and I've been remiss on that. I want to say a huge shout out to the Ministry of Health Soca Fitters. I mean, you guys are fantastic. I woke up with you a couple days in the week of late, and you guys have received us with open arms and so welcoming. I want to say hello to every single one of you, Soca Fitters, especially the ones at the Ministry of Health. I want to say hello to the optical staff at Courts, particularly the ones at Marisol. You guys don't know what to do with me anymore because I'm in there almost on a daily basis trying every pair of frames, only to select one and find out, no, they're not the right frames yet. So guess what? I'll be back again tomorrow trying more frames. Hello in particular to Gina and Alexis. Alexis, you know, I'm always teasing you, but my little buddy, very, very nice. My mom and dad, who's always listening, especially my mom, who always says, give me a little shout out, give me a little shout out. Hey, Mom, I hope you're well and everybody's fine, especially Lizzie, my baby niece, Auntie loves you. And anybody else that I may have forgotten. Oh, Glenn. Hi, Glenn Kosol, right? Yes. So, hi, guys. And thank you for always being tuned in every Tuesday and giving me the support. I need because I need this show. I need it like breath. You know, it really gives me a platform to ensure that your stories become our stories and that we become a nation that cares. Next week, we'll be talking a little bit more about independence celebrations and another forum that is near and dear to me, and that is the Talent 758 competition, where young people are being showcased in their talents. And we've got some fantastic singers and dancers putting on a wonderful, absolutely magnificent show come next week, Wednesday. So next week, Tuesday, I'll be telling you a little bit more about that. You know how the young ones are near and dear to me. So next week, Tuesday, I'll be telling you a little bit more about Talent 758. That is that's the final, the grand finale of that competition in honor of our independence celebration. So listen in and tune, because you never know, I just may have another giveaway. So until next week, adieu.